It's our home going straight up in the air. Connor, how we feel?
Feeling good. Heart rate's flowing.
I don't know if I want to be underneath this big boat sanding it. This is like my greatest fear, is being underneath it, because like I am totally kaput if it falls on me. They better have good things to support this bad boy up. She is big, 40,000 pounds. They're doing it pretty quick. Just watching our home get just tossed around. Connor's been saying that that anchor is a little small. I thought it was like just the right size, but then you take a look at the size of this, and yeah, it looks a little...
It's a properly sized anchor, but it does look dwarfed when the whole boat's out of the water.
Looks so puny. All right, here we go, trusting this journey. First time up. Ah, it's raining too with the hail. Connor reconnecting the power. What's going on, Connor?
So I just loosened up the bolts for the shaft coupling to the transmission here, and now I'm doing the grub screws for collar on the shaft seal here. We're going to be replacing the shaft seal and the cutlass bearing, so we got to get the shaft out, and I got these loose, but they're not really budging, so kind of must be a little bit frozen on there. We'll have to whack that with a hammer or something. Hopefully we can get this prop shaft out of there. So I had these upper grub screws all loosened up, and trying to bang it with the little dead blow hammer, and wasn't budging at all. So I took these all the way out. They're not very long, but found another set of grub screws underneath here, so that's why that wasn't budging. Got to take all those out. Probably a good little safety measure to have the little jam nut grub screw over the ones that are actually cinching on there. So good idea, but not very obvious. It's not gonna come out easy.
Connor put some liquid wrench on it, luber it.
Lubed it up, and yeah, broke it free. You can see where it used to be. That's where the little grub screw, it's not actually indented, so that's good, because we don't want to have to deal with that complication also. But I think we're about free. I'm going to lube up the rest of this shaft just so it slides out a little easier. Now I'm just going to kind of try to take off some of this build up right here with some 1200 grit sandpaper. We want to do it as little sanding as possible, but just to kind of buff it out and smooth it up so it can slide through that cutlass bearing nice and easy.
We're trying to get that cutlass bearing off, and unfortunately the rudder's in the way, so we're trying to loosen it up so we have some space. So right now I'm working on, see how dirty this one is, trying to clean it all up. So Connor's tools can fit around those, loosen them up, and hopefully create some space. Sometimes I try to get this and it freaking is shooting into my face. So didn't realize I wanted seafood for breakfast. Ugh. But bon appetit. Yum.
So this is why I got the hinged one, so that we can kind of open that hinge and clean from behind there, because not much water's getting through there. And then if you look up in here, even worse. Look at all the growth that's up in there that's just completely blocking that through hole. It's the engine raw water intake right there. You can see it got painted over a little bit. All these holes are kind of clogged and then all that growth on the inside. So the hinged one should definitely come in handy. The hole in here does look pretty clear though, so looks like we were doing pretty well there. We'll see what we got here. This one we're not actually using right now anyways, but it's a little bit clogged up. Not too bad though, not as bad as the front one. That was the worst for sure.
Righto. And we're gonna work on the through hole of the engine. Connor just loosened up the hose clamp.
So to keep these hose clamps from falling into the bottom of the bilge, which is way too deep for us to get to, and just tied his little zip tie around there. That'll keep them up there. Hopefully this will just wiggle off, but we might need a little bit of heat.
You taking a nap? I'm gonna make a whole video of you napping in weird spots.
We got the hose off, so that's good news. This is an old school through hole right here. You can tell they didn't even use like barbed back then. I don't know if that's a standard thing or what, but kind of odd. All the plumbing fittings for hoses like this nowadays are all barbed fittings, which just gives it a little step and a little something extra to grab on with the hose clamps. This is the backing plate. That thing is tiny, so that's the one that I have to make a new one of. Now that I look at this, I'm like, is that 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches? Hopefully it's 1.5 inches, because that's what we got to replace it. I guess we could bore it out and kind of downsize the barbed fitting from the new through hole, but I think we gotta try and twist this thing off. There's no bolting through here, so I think it's just kind of threaded on. We're gonna try and twist that off, and hopefully we can break her free without doing too much damage.
I think I still have clams in my throat.
Alright, so we just kind of scraped this all away, and you can see at first I thought it was just inside there, and that was a little confusing because how the hell is it keeping it from just pulling it inside into the boat? Chipped away that paint though, and it is all recessed, kind of flush mounted in there, so it must be kind of countersunk in there, which I guess is kind of cool. Low profile stuff allows this to kind of go over it easier. The one that I got is beveled out enough to clear this mushroom, looked like at least. But yeah, this new one will go in there, and I think a lot of people grind out these or kind of flush cut with a multi-tool or use a grinder and kind of notch them out. That works, seems like it works well with the mushroom cap here, but this one would be really tough if I didn't buy this giant drill bit. I bought it a while ago for electrical work, just kind of sometimes you have to bore out a knockout to a bigger size. I think it's going to turn out to be perfect for this one because I can kind of notch this away to pull that plate out, or maybe we even leave that on there because it wants to stay flush with it, and then we can get the rest of the inside guts out of there. So we'll give it a whirl. There are these little things here, so I'm going to get caught up for the first couple drills, I think.
Where are your safety goggles?
I got them on, see? Alright, so just in case we end up having to go on top of this bronze, I don't really want to drill any deeper than that. You can see we got pretty deep, and we might be just right there, but it's so hard to tell because I don't know the thickness of this old bronze. And right now, this is at that thickness, so I don't want to bore that out anymore. So I think we might try and chop it from the inside and kind of do a little bit more discovery, and hopefully we can figure out how much further that has to go. I might take the Dremel wheel and kind of cut that out, but I don't want to go any deeper on this side, any wider, so we'll see. This is scary. I'm cutting really close to the boat. It has to be done because that backing plate is way too small for the new flanged fitting for the Seacock, so we have to replace that. And if I end up cutting into the side of the boat, then we're gonna have to reglass that, and it's a little bit frightening to do, but kind of the only way around this.
Let's go.
Yep, let's go. I don't know if this blade's gonna get through that bronze.
Twisting it, come on, twist it.
Alright, we got it.
Ah.
Look at this old guy.
Nice.
It's not in that bad a condition. Pretty clear still, at least, so that's good.
Definitely thought it'd be worse.
Definitely kind of eating away right here, right there. It's still crazy to me that there's no barb on there. But now we did get to the back side of this, so we can bang on that a little bit. Hopefully we can get that to come out, because it was not cutting out with that drill bit very easily. Not easy.
Little glimpse of our house when projects are happening.
Isn't this nice?
I have no more bed.
Looks like they use starboard, which Jason recommended against using this because the 5200 doesn't stick to it, epoxy doesn't stick to it. It's a really cool material for basic stuff, but not when you're trying to glue anything to it.
Alright, the view from the outside. Sticking out, looks
I was
like
so
that.
worried about drilling too far. We were right there. We just needed like a 32nd of an inch left there just to break that off. It ended up coming off just when we were banging it from the inside, so we are all good.
Nice job.
All right. Look at your dirty hands.
Hard worker, trying to get the cutlass bearing off, just sanding it down.
I'm out there working hard. Malvina's just taking a nap in here. She stole my bed too. Look at her. What is she doing?
Good timing.
Look at this. Oh!
Nap time and some dreams came true.
She got that up all by herself.
No.
Look at her.
He loosened it up for me.
Just barely.
What it looks like now. What we're hoping it'll look like.
Malvina's been slaving away, scrubbing the whole bottom. We opted not to hire the pressure washer, which is probably kind of dumb, but we waited too long. And then we had all the through holes out. So if we had a pressure washer, they'd go in those holes. And here she is.
Right there, sitting there.
I know. You are the pressure washer. Under pressure.
Now he really better marry me. I'm questioning if I want to marry him.
Just leaving her to do all this work herself. Look how good of a worker she is, though.
I'm definitely like not gonna get a chemical burn.
She's such a cute marshmallow. Another big complication here is we're gonna have to pull this whole rudder out so that we can get the prop shaft out, so that we can get the new shaft seal on. And we could probably do the cutlass bearing without it, but we got a new shaft seal that we want to put on. They're only good for 5 to 7 years with the Dripless ones, and that was it looks like it's been at least 5 to 7 years, so we're gonna put a new one on. Everyone's been recommending old school packing gland style, but I couldn't find one in time, and we're just gonna do the PSS Pro. Should last for 8 to 10 years, so that's a little bit better. Kind of a hassle to have to take the whole rudder out, but I did get it out. It wasn't too much. We just have to get lifted up again, so that's kind of the bummer of it all. But other than that, not too bad. How you feeling, baby?
Very wet on the outside, very dehydrated on the inside.
Dry on the inside. But you did a great job.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed, but I'm pretty annoyed that this was like right here looking at me right in the face. I really wanted to take it, but I didn't want to get in trouble.
We should have just waited till they're closed and used it.
The same thing. Like, you know what? It's done. I'm ready to sand.
Yep, we're sanding now.
And I need some water.
Yeah, right.
And let's go.
You want to come on up, or you want me to bring everything down?
I don't
I think she got a little loopy. She got copper poisoning.
So Connor and I are just like contemplating what the hell we're doing. We're both realizing this is probably one of the crazier and dangerous things.
Scariest things I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, because I mean, we just paid about $80,000 for this boat, and it's in the air, being held by
on stilts,
propped up on 4 stilts,
and a couple of little like tiny pallets.
We're constantly thinking that we're moving up here, but we can't decide if we just have land legs or sea legs, which we think we're moving, but hopefully we're not. And on top of that, our boat's in the air, and I'm scrubbing it down, and I'm getting copper all over my face. My goggles aren't as secure, so I'm pretty much a walking toxic mess. I first started in this outfit, and I don't know if the guys were at the yard thinking, wow, she's a badass, she doesn't even care. Or they are thinking, wow, she's really dumb. I'm probably thinking the latter, because I quickly put my suit on as I scrubbed. We should have just opted for the pressure cleaning. But you know, we were trying to save a little bit of money, and let's just make Malvina as toxic as possible. Now phase 2.
More toxic than Britney Spears.
Alright, now Connor pulled all of our painting things, and we're just trying to get everything down that we possibly need so we don't have to come back up here to get anything, so we don't want to be walking around our boat, especially after we sand, and we're gonna just jump right into painting. So I'm gonna go help carry some stuff down and start prepping for this next phase. Alright, super glamorous here. My friend Jackie said that be careful, Malvina. Having a boat is not very glamorous, but I don't know, I beg to differ. I think Connor's about to get suited up after me, but I think I look pretty good. But yeah, I guess she also said find friends that have sailboats, right? Don't buy your own, because it's the best day of your life. Or wait, what is it? I'm getting too tired. Yeah, I inhaled way too much copper. No, the best days of your life are when you buy the boat and you sell the boat. But right now, I don't know. I feel like we're doing pretty good for the day in between. Liva's getting some airtime. I just washed her all down. Let's do this glamorous work. Okay, now I'm ready. We're crushing it. Sun's going down, so we're trying to wrap up on sanding. Put a nice little coat of the thinner, and hopefully we can get one layer in the dark so I can dry everything. Oh my gosh, my face looks amazing right now. All right, so we did it. We sanded the whole boat down, and we got a nice layer of thinner, and kind of polished her off with that. And even though it's getting late, we have this light, and Connor has another light, so we are starting to mix the paint. So,
just stirring it up.
Stir it up. We're about to bust out some musica once we turn the camera off. We're gonna pour in 1 gallon in this bucket, and then we got 12 ounces, technically a little touch over of thinner. I may pour it back out so it's perfectly 12 ounces. We're gonna add that in together, mix it in the bucket. He's gonna use his drill to mix it all up with this little guy. Boom shakalaka. Wish us luck. So far we're doing great. Look at our faces. Still got my Xena hair. Warrior! Paint time!